Hey there, Kenneth French of Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. We're very, very happy you stopped by. Either you're going to watch this or listen to this because you want to take your business to the next level. You're probably an entrepreneur who's either just starting out or you've been around for quite a while and you want to take your business to the next level. You're probably a real estate investor, maybe even a real estate agent, maybe a professional or of some sort, professional advisor of some sort. And well, you are stopping by because you need some valuable advice from one of the top industry leaders there is. Anyway, thank you very much. Once again, Kenneth French, Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. Really glad you stopped by. Are you a brand new investor and wondering what to do to get into real estate? Hey there, Kenneth French, vastsolutionsgroup.com. We're here to help you with tax, finance, artificial intelligence to lower your tax liability and also hopefully to help you become wealthy. Once again, I'm chatting about real estate, and this time a little bit different. I'm talking about how to get into real estate as a brand new investor. Talking yesterday to someone, they were a W-2 employee. Actually, it was he and his wife. They're making pretty good amount of money. They wanted to get out of the rat race, not work for, corporate America, and decided real estate might make sense. They were talking to an attorney. The attorney suggested to look at real estate. Then they were referred to us. And here is how the conversation went. Basically, what they were asking is, what do we do if we want to, one, lower our taxes, and two, get involved in real estate? So basically what I said was, well, yeah, it makes a lot of sense to get invested in real estate. Real estate in general, I'm speaking in general, this isn't guidance for you, it's just in general, is a pretty good way to increase net worth, lower taxes, and get away from the rat race that is corporate America. And so basically what they said was, well, how do we know that it's going to be lowering our tax liability? Well, as an employee, W-2 employee, it's very hard to lower your taxes. There's only a few ways you can lower your taxes. And basically what they figured out is, yeah, do the 401k. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. But if you have an entity set up to invest in real estate, as an example, well, one, you're going to get more deductions. Tax law here in the United States is basically friendly to individuals who are, one, owning their own business, also two, who own real estate. So basically they thought it made sense. Well, yeah, hey, I'm going to invest, a little bit in real estate. Well, what kind of deductions can I get? And I said, well, the whole story goes, well, you can, as a matter of fact, you can, have board meetings. You could, buy computers as an example, anything that you can do to help really with your business, in this case, the LLC, which will end up owning real estate and also management LLC, because they're doing some other stuff kind of on the side that I think is going to help them as well. So what happens then? Well, if you buy, real estate, you get big deduction, you get tax favors by, who knows, you're going to be expanding your real estate empire. You're end up going to hopefully end up doing a number of things, number of strategies that can lower your taxes, because they're going to, do the whole bonus depreciation. They're going to do commercial property, real estate. They're going to hopefully own some multifamily. Now, what specifically would help them in their circumstance as it relates to bonus depreciation? They like the fact that, whoa, wait a minute, I can kind of accelerate some of my deductions because the tax law in the United States allows for that. The answer to that was yes. And they said, well, what's some ways I could do that? And I said, well, what we'll be able to do for bonus depreciation is kind of look at the building, look at the commercial building, and instead of having normal depreciation over a long term, we can quicken or accelerate some of the assets that are in the building. And instead of being over a number of years, we can make it so you can depreciate or bonus depreciate some of the items now versus down the road. So that will help your tax liability, especially because you're buying commercial buildings. Also, they are doing a little bit in basically, or I think what they're going to end up doing is a little bit of investing into artificial intelligence. They're going to automate some of their kind of strategies, some of their, if you will, the workflows. They're going to be deploying partially based on what I was talking about to them, is some artificial intelligence to kind of push that envelope as far as innovation and automation into their business, because they're going to be doing some pretty unique items in the marketplace. So basically, they're going to get the government to help them lower their tax liability, because they're going to get tax credits from the government if they deploy some of these things we talked about, which I think they will, because they're pretty forward thinkers. So they're going to basically get research and development, or R&D, tax credits from the government. That's going to help lower their tax liability in a big way. Plus, by the way, it kind of sounds like down the road, the wife might end up doing some more real estate as instead of working for the man, if you will, potentially over 750 hours, they're going to be able to become real estate professionals. That's going to lower their tax liability potentially down the road even more. So those are just a few of the items that kind of will help them as business owners. Again, I'm speaking in general, not specifically for you. I don't know your circumstance. If you're out there watching or listening, but the idea is to do some strategies that will lower your tax liability and hopefully make you wealthy as it relates to some of the strategies that are out there that are available to us as business owners and also to real estate investors. Also, by the way, I should also make mention of one other element that's pretty attractive as it works in their situation is, and if you really think about it, it's a big component. They're going to be doing some global investing. So they're going to be looking for some lower priced properties in some lower priced countries, if you will. They love to travel. So who knows? They might be able to get some properties that are in some locations internationally that are, you know, pennies on the dollar where you'd get in the United States. So they're going to potentially become landowners in a pretty quick fashion by spending a little bit less money per dollar than they would in the United States. Let's say they're investing in the United States, investing in California, where let's just say a typical property would be, I don't know, whatever. Let's just say $750,000 when they can buy a property in, who knows where in another country, and that property would go for whatever, $60,000. So they can buy more assets, diversification. They're again, they like travel all over the world. So in their case, they can buy a property here, property there, property there. It's going to be tough insofar as they're going to be, having their fingers in different a number of different pies, but that's what they want to do. So I guess what I'm trying to do is provide a flavor for you of really being a brand new investor, in this case, a W-2 employee, two different, a couple, two different companies that are looking for kind of strategies for at least to think about as it relates to, being aware of taxes, of diversification, and what to do as a small business owner when you're really a W-2 employee and you're doing the diversification play of investing in real estate and starting your own business. Now, if you have any other questions or any thoughts about this, please do feel free. We'd love to hear your thoughts, especially if you're a W-2 employee looking to divest, a little bit of your career and your money, your income, and you're looking into real estate. These are just a couple of, ideas, things to think about if you're in that case. Now, once again, Kenneth French, vastsolutionsgroup.com. Love that you're taking the time to watch and listen to this. Thank you so much, and I hope you have one unbelievable day.